A lot of people become curious about astrology suddenly whenever they want to know when are they going to get married or how the marriage is going to be. And I've seen a lot of astrologers talk about Venus and seventh house and Jupiter linking it to the husband, but there's a pattern that I've noticed and I don't see anyone talking about it. I have seen a lot of celebrities getting married suddenly whenever this aspect was happening in their chart, this transit was happening in their chart. And I have my own parents as an example as well, because I think anytime there's a case of Jhat Mangni Patya is what we call in India, I see a fascinating aspect being formed between Juno and Uranus. Now, Juno is something that is considered in astrology as marriage by law, which is different from Venus, because Venus can represents the long-term relationships that we get in, or just relationships in general. It can, on this day and age, also be defined as situationships. So that is something that I think we need to start shifting from whenever we look at marriages. And then Uranus is something that represents suddenness, sudden shift, and your life being shaken up in a macro as well as a macro. But in a macro, in your natal chart, it will represent significant innovations in your life, some type of complete shift happening in your life, which marriages bring in as part of their karma. I was recently watching an interview by Aishwarya Rai where she was talking about how suddenly she got engaged, and similarly, I've seen this pattern in Hailey Bieber's chart as well, because Hailey Bieber got married pretty suddenly, young and unexpectedly as well. Now, what we have to keep in mind is that this aspect can be as strong as a conjunction or as light as a sextile or a square or a trine even. Now, Juno takes about 4.5 years to complete its orbit, and Uranus is a pretty slow moving planet. It stays in a sign for about 7 to 8 years. And what might surprise you is that there are a lot of windows to get married, whether it's marrying suddenly, which would be in the case of Juno and Uranus, irrespective of whether the marriage is arranged or love. There are plenty of windows for one to get married and for one to be at a stage of going to the court and signing it to the government, to the law, that you are now going to be a companion to this person. So, if ever anyone is telling you that astrologically window is closing, do not rush, do not listen to them.